For those around the house spring spiff ups, we often reach for a can of spray paint. Often a glossy cover is our goal, a glossy finish, and that's where the spray paint can comes in handy. But for all of the good you can get with a can of spray paint, when it goes wrong, it's hard to recover. We're going to fix all of that today. Brooke Ulrich of All Things Thrifty has the solutions for us, and a spray paint can, I know, is one of your very best friends when it comes to DIY projects.
Yeah, so when you want to change a space, it's kind of the cheapest way to do it because you can head to the thrift store and get something for super duper cheap, and just with a little bit of spray paint makes it all new, change the color, and just make your room feel nice and new.
And you're a girl of change. You are constantly turning over color in your home and color in your space.
It's true, I love color, so I've just kind of become a spray painting
expert
guru, maybe.
She's the expert, people, and we're going to learn today. And you have picked up some tricks and some tips along the way that you're going to share with us.
Yes.
We were just chatting before the show started. I think spray paint projects can be a little bit scary because you do know if it goes wrong, like I said, it's hard to recover.
It's true, and a lot of people are intimidated by that spray paint can. So the first thing I would say when you're spray painting something is to make sure you have a good spray paint. You got to make sure that you have a good brand and that you're priming and that you're making sure that your project is, you're not going to ruin it.
Okay, talk straight. What's the brand that you reach for most often?
So I like Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum's the brand that I reach for the most if they have the color that I want.
Okay.
And I love to prime with either a Rust-Oleum 2X or a Zinsser.
And do you prime every time?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it just depends. If I want it to last a lot longer, if it's something that I feel like, oh, you know what, I'm going to change this in 6 months, I'm not going to prime just because I'm lazy. But if I want it to stay and I want it to last, I do prime.
Okay,
so,
you recently tackled this desk, which is just darling.
It's so cute.
It's like, seriously, we could just swoon over this all day long. Let's back up a few steps. So what did you do to prep this piece before we reached for any can?
Okay, so this is actually a sewing desk. I got it for $25 at the Restore. Promise, it's for my guest room.
It's amazing.
And first things first, you got to make sure it's clean. So clean it. You can wash it with some Clorox wipes and then make sure it's dry, because if it's not dry, your paint is gonna cause problems.
See, there's a trap I've fallen into. I admit, you get excited. You're like, come on, we're ready. And
I don't care. I'm just gonna, spray away. Right?
So cobwebs have to be gone. Okay, fine. And then do you buff it? Do you sand it?
Sand it a little bit. So my favorite is to sand with 220. It just takes the gloss off a little bit.
Okay.
So just, just buff it like barely.
I thought you were gonna do it and you about give me a heart attack. I'm like, stop, stop, it's too pretty.
Just buff it a little bit.
Okay.
And then prime it.
Okay.
Make sure the primer is dry. And then buff it again before you paint.
Prime and buff again.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Now we
we
reach for the color.
Yes.
This is where it really gets scary. In fact, Tiffany, our studio coordinator, was saying sometimes there's that like handshake where you're like totally nervous to even go for it because you want it to be smooth and you don't want to see lines, you don't want to see bumps and cracks. What's your technique for getting that nice finish?
Okay, so when you're spraying, make sure that you start off of your piece, continue across, and then end off of the piece. Does that make sense?
Like you're getting a running start.
Yes. Yes, so you start off, continue across, release, start, across, release, all the way across. And then this piece, this took 3 coats of color.
Okay.
So this took 1 coat of primer, buffing, coat, dry, coat, dry, coat.
This was a patient project.
I know, but the other thing is you have to make sure that you coat within an hour. If you don't, then you're gonna cause crackling. And crackling is something that happens.
Hold on, repeat your coat within an hour?
Yes.
So you gotta come back, you can't wait till the next day.
No.
You've gotta come back while it's still kind of tacky?
Yeah, 1 hour or over 48 hours.
Oh, wow. Or wait until it's totally dry.
Yes.
Okay.
I promise, you can't break the rules.
I've seen your project, I believe you. My DIY life is in your hands. Do you remove the drawers when you're spray painting?
Yes. These are actually faux drawers.
Oh.
These top ones.
Okay.
So these can't come out.
Okay, yeah.
But yes, this one I definitely removed, took it off, sprayed it, and then returned it.
This is, I mean, it's so sweet. It's darling. Let me name a couple pitfalls, and you've probably touched on these, and then you can just give us a straightforward solution. What about paint drips?
Okay, paint drips. This is one that I made, for the segment. The very first thing I would do is sand with 220.
Okay.
And you just sand the heck out of it. Make sure it's dry first. And you just sand. I mean, it goes better if you have time.
Okay.
But then after that, take a 400 grit and smooth it out really good. I mean,
That's a really fine grit, isn't it?
The pitfalls of TV, yes. You can't really tell, but that's smooth. And then recoat.
Recoat.
Yep. And then stripes.
Yeah, that's
especially
another
if you're getting you want a glossy finish. I'm sure you can't really tell in the sun, but this is
But when you've done
stripes.
it, you can always tell.
Yeah, isn't
this
that so
true?
frustrating? So when you get done, if you still see stripes, all you need to do is cover it with a clear coat.
Okay.
With the sheen that you want. Make sure you use a really good brush and just cover right over it, and the stripes will disappear.
So the brush kind of hides the stripes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then crackling, if you have crackling, same exact process as for the drips.
To sand it and to recoat. So when you're
don't
shopping
stress.
these vintage pieces that are beat up and they're loved, and that's why we love them, is there any piece that has a flaw to it that you think I couldn't cover that with spray paint?
Yeah, I mean, if there's big chunks out of it, you could do it and put Bondo in it and wait for that to dry and sand it, but it just depends how much love you want to put back into it. If it's not sturdy, I don't even try, because I just want it to
be stable.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we just swoon all over your projects. You're always turning over such great colorful pops of inspiration. What's coming up on your project plans for the
Oh my gosh,
upcoming
the
weeks?
guest room.
Yeah?
I can't wait. We put a big brick wall. It's
You
really
did a
fun.
brick wall.
Yes.
That was one thing when we built our house. It was on my bucket list, and budgets fell through, and it landed on the
This
cutting room floor.
one is
but
brick paneling
oh, okay.
for only $25 a sheet.
Stop it. So I could have had my brick wall.
Yeah.
When's the big reveal on that?
Just in a couple weeks.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Give us your website.
Okay, allthingsthrifty.com.
We'll wait for that reveal patiently. In the meantime, you can catch up on all of her fabulous past projects there. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.